All right, welcome back everybody to the KC Sports Report. Michael Darcy live in St. Joseph, Missouri for Chiefs training camp day 4 for me. It is August 5th, 2021. And you know, it was actually a pretty good day today. I'm gonna wait for the cart to go by. But it was a pretty good day today. You know, a lot of names impressed me. Noah Gray, the tight end, was one of them. You know, he was a guy that coming into camp was gonna be a big question mark because we brought in Blake Bell this offseason. Travis Kelce's obviously the best tight end in the game. Noah Gray was a guy that I thought could be the number 2 tight end, but after what he did today, making great catch after great catch, displaying his blocking ability in the beginning of practice, I think he is going to be tight end number 2 this season. Another guy that came back today was Juan Thornhill. He injured his groin a few days ago. He did come back kind of limping though, so that is something to keep an eye on. Willie Gay didn't practice with the concussion. He left yesterday. And you know, with Noah Gray, you know, I think that you kind of know when a player is going to get a lot of playing time in the upcoming season based off how much he plays in the training camp and the preseason. Noah Gray has run with the 1s, the 2s, the 3s, and he's gotten a lot of snaps with all of them. So that's a really good sign moving forward, and I think that the Chiefs are really trying to get him in this offense. Another thing is just basically Patrick Mahomes was on today, and Mecole Hardman was his favorite receiver. I think that Mecole Hardman has really taken that jump. You know, this training camp video might sound like the other 2 that I made because Noah Gray and Mecole Hardman and guys like Trey Smith are all having fantastic training camps, and you just got to talk about them. Chris Jones looked good today, coming off the edge in the one-on-one drills. You know, I did watch the running backs blitz drills. Darwin Thompson, to me, still isn't that great of a run blocker because he's too small. I mean, he just gets plowed by any single running back or any single linebacker that charges him, and he just doesn't have the size to withstand some of the bigger hits. So he's kind of a little bit of a question mark. I think his training camp has been subpar, in my opinion. Darrell Williams proved that he's the best blocking running back on this team. That's no surprise. What else do we got here? Most of my notes from Twitter, I live tweeted all this at KC Sports Report on Twitter. Most of it was just me basically awing over how good Noah Gray was. The offensive line looked pretty good today. Trey Smith, like I said, he has been a guy that so far in camp, he's going to be the starting right tackle, or right guard rather. I think he's a guy that has really proven a lot, and Andy Reid has been running him with the 1s and the 2s, but more specifically the 1s. So keep an eye out on Trey Smith. But even how he's having a great camp, Chris Jones absolutely killed him in the one-on-ones, but that's not really a surprise. But for the edge groups, you know, I don't want to say that Orlando Brown Jr. and Joe Thuney haven't been good, but our edges have been cooking them. Mike Dana looked good. Joshua Kando has a lot of talent. You can see why we drafted him in the 5th or 6th round this year, because he has a lot of talent. He just hasn't ever been able to put it to use. I saw it in the drills that Joshua Kando has the talent to be a productive defensive end on this team. We're gonna have to wait and see, but I think he's gonna be a name that gets thrown in the mix some point this season. Yeah, I tweeted out, you can just tell Joshua Kando has so much potential. Frank Clark was all right today. I think that he could have been better. He's still a guy that I think is going to have to kind of get acclimated to the training camp, and as we go along further through the season, hopefully improves. Taco Charlton looked good today. I think that he's going to be a reliable guy that you can go to consistently. And then one more note that I wanted to throw out there is safety Will Parks, the guy that we brought in this offseason, who is, I guess you could say, a late addition. He really hasn't had a loud training camp. He hasn't been bad, but he also hasn't been good. And there's other guys like UDFA Devin Key, who's had a really good training camp, that's probably going to get the opportunity to make the team over Will Parks, because he's having a better camp and he's also much, much cheaper. So he could be a late cut this offseason. We're not too sure, but yeah, it's been a great time out here in St. Joe, and a lot of different stuff's been going on. But if I was to pick an MVP or the most impressive player that I saw today, it was Noah Gray. Noah Gray looked good, and I think that the defensive end group is coming along. The offensive line is going to be very, very good this year. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, a guy that I completely forgot to talk about, was really good in the scrimmage. He was able to get the ball, catch the ball, and turn it upfield. Looked great, and Jerick McKinnon was also doing that as well. So yeah, this Chiefs team just looks good right now, and I think that it's going to be fun to watch going later on into camp who wins these position battles. So with that being said, guys, I appreciate you watching this video, and so long from St. Joe.